Welcome to Romance Unzipped, your happily ever after book club. I'm Holly.
And I'm Annie. We read, write, and obsess about all things romance.
Let's dive in.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, everyone. Welcome to Romance Unzipped.
I'm Annie.
I'm Holly.
Today we read a male-female contemporary romance.
Right Next Door by Sophie Andrews.
It is like a cupcake in bed that's mostly frosting and full of frosting with some sauce.
A real light palate cleanser. Not even a very long book.
No,
This is a 2 or 3 day, just if you're looking for something sweet and fluffy.
Yeah, and I had never, read it and all the threads. People are like, I'm in a slump. I need a palate cleanser. And I've never really connected with that term, but I read this. I'm like, this is what people mean. It is all the things. The main female character goes through this whole journey. She gets everything she wants and more. And it is just kind of relaxing.
Yeah, this is a small town romance. It takes place in a fictional college town right outside of Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
And she owns a bookstore, and right next door, he owns a tattoo shop.
I mean,
so we're just checking the boxes.
What the people want. Mm-hmm. We want an unassuming, quiet. People think that she's not spectacular bookstore owner. People she thinks people see her as plain. She's been told that. So it's kind of this like every girl.
Mm-hmm. She takes off her glasses and then she's devastatingly beautiful.
I did it. I'm a miracle worker.
And everyone thinks he's gruff and he's this
he's
bear of a man. He's got tattoos all over him.
He's tall. He's like 6, well, I don't know.
Something.
Somewhere between 6'3" and 6'5". I think that's kind of the average height of men in romance novels. He's got hulking biceps, like hair to his shoulders. He pulls it back. He's a tattoo artist, covered in tattoos. He's a white man, and he mentions a couple times that his family, or maybe his dad, is Iranian. So he's kind of like
his mom's dad is Iranian.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got golden skin.
Yeah, and darker hair and dark eyes, and then she's also a white woman and dark hair.
Yes, she described herself kind of self-deprecatingly as she's referring to how plain she is. She says, everything about me is from the ingredient list of a pack of white bread.
That was actually pretty funny.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Ooh, self-burn. Damn, girl.
Self-burn. Yeah.
And like always, she thinks she's unassuming. She's boring. Everybody thinks she's plain. No, the whole town loves her. She's beautiful.
This is our fantasy read. This is like us in junior high being like, I wish everyone knew how great I was inside. Mm-hmm. Like, this is that. So, and she wears baggy shirts and long baggy skirts, and like she really.
And he looks at her fashion. He's like, "Ooh, look at that shirt. It doesn't show her figure, so I get to imagine what it looks like."
Right. It's just like also like total high fantasy of like what. And so then actually, we looked up the author, and in her bio, she said she writes simps and cinnamon rolls, and everything made more sense.
Ian is a simp and a cinnamon roll.
This person has never existed in the universe, and now that's her kind of tongue-in-cheek gift to you, the reader.
Yes.
Us.
So the setup is Nicole is having a seemingly normal, bland life. She's not happy, but she doesn't really even know that because she doesn't take the time to think about it. And her husband of 15 years says, I want to open up the marriage.
Yeah,
she's
out
devastated.
Of nowhere. Yeah, she's like, what?
So she's crying about it, and her co-worker, the person that works right next door, Ian, sees her in the town bakery shop, which they also...
Ian Stone is the hunky main male character.
Mm-hmm. He's the tattoo shop owner that works next door to her. He sees her crying and says, oh, what's wrong? And she says, my husband opened up a marriage. So then he sets her on a little path, and he says, well, you need to figure out what that means and do some research. And, oh, by the way, I'm a dom, and you can be my submissive. It's not quite that quick, but...
Not that quick, but
that's
almost.
the subtext.
Yeah. And I forgot to say, she's 39, she's almost 40, and he's in his early 50s. So he has dark hair, but it's kind of threaded with silver, and he has like a robust beard that's salt and pepper, and he strokes it quite a bit. But he's like very much the hunky... bad boy daddy,
fox.
And everyone sees him as this like gruff, but with her,
he's daddy simp.
He's daddy simp.
So she decides to tell her husband, okay, fine, let's have an open marriage, but it's just for the summer. At the end of the summer, we're going to figure out where we stand. So it creates this time frame that the book is fits right into.
Right.
I like that trope.
Yeah, totally. It's a great device, right? Like, so it's like, okay, all the action's going to take place. There's urgency. We have something we're working against. And the husband's an academic, so he goes away, and she kind of talks about at the beginning how she's put so much effort into him and his career, and she's going to boring lectures and things she doesn't like. And he hasn't ever shown interest in her and her bookstore. And I think the thing that this is most like embodied by is she has this cat, a long-hair raglan cat, that her aunt passed on to her with the bookstore, and he won't let her have it at the house, so the cat has to live in the bookstore. And when I told Hollie about this book, I was like, it's such a fluff ball. And I said, there's a bookshop owner, it's a small town, the hunk next door is a tattoo owner, and she goes, well, is there a cat? And I said, there's a cat!
Yeah. Now, her ex-husband, or well, at the start of the book, husband, is painted as a somewhat one-dimensional villain.
Yeah.
But in his defense, the reason he doesn't let her have the cat is because he has allergies. He's not a complete a-hole. He's just kind of self-centered, whiny, and a loser.
Yeah.
So this might not come as a surprise to anyone, but the cat is named Darcy after Pride and Prejudice.
Which is her favorite book, which is the inspiration for her first tattoo, I am the mistress of myself.
Yes.
Is that how?
I think that's what she says. So that's their first, it's not even a date yet. It's before she's figuring out what she wants, but she's starting to get some feelings in her, little flutters in her stomach when she sees Ian. She says, oh, I'm going to get a tattoo. Like, I never do anything for myself. I never do anything I want to do. I'm going to make myself happy. And he says, oh, yeah, come on in. It's on the house.
Come on in, girl.
Yeah, I got you.
I'll mark you up. And so she gets the quote, and of course they have a finger bang moment after.
I mean,
I think
isn't that
it's
how
like a
all
rite of
tattoos work?
passage.
Yeah. You got to like release the endorphins or it's going to hurt and won't heal right.
If you're not getting it, you should complain. Also, just kidding. You're getting molested if that is what they force on you.
This was consensual.
Yeah, she wanted this.
Although after it happened, she just gets like deer in headlights and she flees and she runs out of there. She's so freaked out.
Yeah, she's like, I'm bad. So she's been given this green light to explore for a month, and the husband was a very irresponsible, non-monogamous, like there's no ethical non-monogamy in this. He's just like, go have fun, don't ask, don't tell. And so she does all this research and it's like, oh, actually for it to be healthy, you're supposed to have agreements and
what are our boundaries?
And communication. And so
he's like, I just wanted to be free. Why would there be rules?
I'm just hoping someone will fuck me while I'm
And
gone.
she gets really mad about this, and it becomes clear when they have their conversation. He's like, oh, well, you wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
You're not that kind of person, right? And she's
You
like,
wear
what?
baggy skirts.
Yeah, so you want an open marriage just so you can go bang someone and you just don't expect me to sit at home and do nothing?
And he's like, I kind of figure
that's how it is, right?
So that lights like a little fire under her. And he doesn't say it that out of a dick balm statement.
Pretty close, though. He's
later in the book, he does.
Yeah, he's shocked that she might possibly.
Yeah, he's like, oh, you would never.
You don't have needs.
Yeah, just wait. I'm
Woman,
getting a
make
tattoo.
me dinner.
Woman, you better get yourself in the kitchen.
Yeah, that's kind of how he was written a little bit. So then she flees to Ian, and Ian
she's
is just
crying
waiting.
in the coffee shop, which is also right next to the bookstore. And yeah, Ian sees her, and he's just like, oh, he loves his little wounded bird. And so he's like, I am here for you. And he wants to bone her immediately. He has for years. But he is the perfect, as we learned, simp and cinnamon roll. So he doesn't force anything on her. He's just like, I am your soft dom resource.
His dom proclivity is he just wants to make her orgasm. That is what he wants to do.
Yeah, and he wants
to
take care of her. He wants to like make sure she drinks water. And when I was reading it, I didn't know that the author writes this kind of cheeky subtrope, which I had never heard of, but Hollie looked it up, and there's also, I guess, like kind of
there's other authors that
micro genre
are all
simps
about
and
cinnamon rolls.
So basically, it just means like the hunkiest guy, and then as over the top teen diary flowery nonsense as you can imagine, he's thinking. And I was like, I kept writing notes and being like, no way.
He wouldn't really say that, would he?
No one is going to say this. And then I was like, oh, it's part of
This is the fantasy.
This is the fantasy. This is the fantasy. So it delivered on that for sure.
Yeah.
If you have a secret journal from junior high, or maybe your 30s, we don't know, of like all the things that you want that perfect prince of a externally rough guy to say.
Yeah, she describes him as he looks like every good girl's fantasy of a bad boy come to life.
And I don't usually care too much about covers. I do sometimes, but not often. And this cover, I texted a picture to Holly and I was like, damn!
He's hunky.
Ian's super hot. Like I don't know if it's an artist rendering or if that's a photo of someone, but the image is very compelling. I was like, Ian Stone.
Yeah, go girl. Way to go, Nicole.
Way to live the dream. Yeah, so it embarks on this month of her having this self-discovery, and it's kind of like the Kelly Clarkson Stronger song. It's like the girl power anthem, you know, like, oh, there's this challenges, but everything's going to make me stronger, and you thought I was going to be alone, but I'm going to come out brighter and better. And so that's her metamorphosis. It's like her husband laying down this blow and her feeling like what's happening, but then realizing you've actually freed me to become the person I am.
The spice in this book, if we're just talking masturbation and her orgasms, it's like 4.
Yeah, there's a lot of
different ways he's making her happy. But as far as ever seeing his dick at all or any sex where the two of them together, it's pretty limited. It's really just at the end.
Yeah, it's like actually just the blowjob scene is where like you see him naked, but even when they have sex, there's not really him naked. So in the blowjob scenes, like the very end.
It's after, it's like at the very end of their month. And one thing that I found oddly convenient is she finally, in her monologue, says to herself, oh, I'm in love with him. Just like
as he
right
comes in her
as
mouth.
he's climaxing mid blowjob.
Oh my God, I laughed
really,
so hard.
Right then.
I was like, wow. Yeah, I don't know if that's ever happened in real life.
Magic cum.
Well, and it was almost like it was simultaneous. So it wasn't the cum that made the love happen, but it was like, oh, I love him, and so there's nothing dirty about this cum. It's just love cum.
This is just, this is the physical manifestation of my love. Leaving his body and entering my own.
Yeah, that was pretty hilarious. I was like, that's amazing.
So we talked about it. They have the time frame of the 1 month because the husband goes off on some academic whatever for the summer. And what I thought was odd about the setup is it's so perfect because now she's got a house all to herself. Because he lives in an apartment above the tattoo shop and his grown daughter lives with him. She's, I think, 20 years old. So there's like privacy. At one point, like one of his kids walks in on him. But she's got a house all to herself. Her husband is like physically gone out of the country or wherever he is. And then they have a month, and at the very beginning they're discussing, oh, I'm a dom and I like to give you orgasms. That's my whole shtick. They just spend their time with nurturing. The first week, all he does literally is say, I'm going to take care of you, baby. I want you to drink more water, and I want you to make sure you're eating lunch. So you're going to text me a picture once a day of you just drinking water and taking a break at work and eating a salad at lunch.
Friends, drink your water.
Yep, and that is his and she's feeling so loved. She's like, oh, he cares about me.
She's a good girl, guys.
Oh, she loves his praise.
She just lights up, and he in his head is immediately like, oh, she's my good girl. She's my perfect girl. She makes me so happy. The thing that makes me happy is her being happy. The whole thing, anything that has to do with her, he's like, do you need my right arm? And she's like, no. You know what I mean?
Sure, because then you could have 3 arms.
I just want you to be happy. It's so over the top, but it's the simp. He's a simp in a cinnamon roll.
He was really leaning into it. But as a reader, I was kind of like, hey, you two, clock's ticking here.
Yeah, hurry it up. She's hydrated.
She's ready.
She's ready to have your love come.
And then for the second week, it was basically a trip to Costco.
That's why we picked this book. So I was reading it just because I can't even remember why. And Hollie and I are writing a book, and it's set in San Francisco. It's contemporary romance, and we were talking about Costco, and so Hollie's like, we got to talk about Costco samples and like buying things that you don't want but you're there. And there's this whole like, I don't know, fairly not insignificant section about him taking her to Costco. I was like, no.
I have a lot of thoughts about Costco.
Yeah.
Sexy is not one of them.
No. And but like foreplay.
It was foreplay. But the scene was charming. I was smiling while I was reading it.
I didn't hate the scene at all. I was like, oh, that's why I was like, we have to read it.
It felt kind of relatable.
It's a Costco moment.
So not to give away too many spoilers, but in our book, so we have a male-female contemporary romance. The main trope is fake dating. And Zoe, our main character, is a people pleaser. Aren't we all?
Aren't we all?
I mean, at least a little bit. So one of her idiosyncrasies is that when she goes to Costco and she tries a sample, she can't bear to make the sample worker feel bad, so she ends up buying the thing so they feel good about themselves.
Yeah, she's like, I will take that 80-pound bag of trail mix.
And then she's stuck with something she doesn't like in a huge quantity, and she and her roommate have to suffer through it. So we've had these conversations, and then Nicole is also a people pleaser, and she shows up at Costco. So it felt like the stars were aligned.
Yeah, and Ian's like, just stay focused. You're going to end up with like a unicorn floaty, if not. So he kind of embodies these qualities that I identified with, that I wouldn't identify with someone having a very strong masculine energy as having. So it's almost like he kind of is the reader, for me at least a little bit, in those kinds of thoughts. I don't know.
Yeah, that's interesting. We've talked about how sometimes when we're reading, we like to imagine ourselves as the character. And I think usually I would imagine myself as the female, and then the male is there as like the person that is taking care of me or doing things for me. But some of his characteristics, it was imagining yourself as him, not as a 50-year-old tattooed dude, but just he had some traits that were not typically uber masculine.
Yeah, that didn't fit with his overall external, but it's just a simp for her.
I think this book would have been a little bit more engaging for me if we could have seen their pining at the beginning. They both talk about how, I've always noticed that person and kind of liked them. And as their relationship develops, we see from side characters that clearly these two have the hots for each other.
Like magnets.
Right. Because Ian's kids are like, oh yeah, of course you're going to get with her. You've liked her for forever. But we never really get to see that because the book opens with her crying and him consoling her. And they start having attraction and being allowed to have attraction to each other because she's got this whole open marriage thing pretty early on. So they allude to it, and I would have liked to see that. I like to see the yearning and the pining and the, if only.
Yeah.
And we didn't get that. And it's just kind of a shorter book. I think it was only 300 pages. Also, I think this book similarly, or maybe opposite, could have worked as a Rivals to Lovers, where we could have seen more of his gruff personality that other people describe. Because we hear from other characters about how
he's so
grouchy.
He's like, he looks like he can just like snap you in half with one look. And she's like, he's only ever been so sweet to me.
He's so kind to me. And I think that contrast might have made his cinnamon roll behavior feel a little bit more, I don't know, special or earned or something. So I would have liked a slightly longer book with more build-up, either with them having pining earlier in their relationship or having animosity because he's just sort of a grumpy dick, and then she softens him, and that's why he becomes such a pushover for her.
I think the Rivals would have been a good way to do it, because if it had been mutual pining, it seems like Sophie Andrews really specifically picked this device and the husband calling the break and all of how it happened, because a lot of readers are so sensitive to the cheating, and so it's very carefully sets it up that she is not a cheater.
Nope.
And so if there had been pre-pining on her part,
that's true. Then it
would have like
kind
been
of wanting it,
some complicity or like something that could be her at fault. So in this, she's totally innocent, like a little baby lamb who the wolf falls in love with. But yeah, I think that the Rivals would have worked, because then...
Yeah, that's a good point. In fact, they don't even, I think we mentioned this, they don't even have sex until after Bryce, the ex-husband,
in the clear.
Yeah, he comes home and says, "Oh, surprise! I'm done with my trip. It ended a few days early."
And he's an outrageous dick, like
Yeah.
outrageous. He just like calls her a whore and like does all this mean stuff and just.
Because she says, "I want a divorce. You asked for an open marriage. You asked for more excitement, and
this isn't working.
Let's make sure we're happy." And I've had all summer to think about it. I'm not happy.
Not happy.
I want a divorce. And he just goes off on her. "Oh, I can't believe you did this. And who is it? Are you seeing someone? I thought you loved me." And she's like, "You asked for this." And at that point, she leaves her house and goes to Ian and says, "My loser husband's home, and I asked him for a divorce." And then they have sex.
Is that when, or does she go to her? She goes to her aunt's. Because she needs time to think.
That's after her husband, the next morning, comes to her bookstore and has this huge blowout in the middle of the street in front of all the townspeople. Saying, "Oh, you're a whore. You cheated on me. You're this, that, and the other." And she's
by the sandwich board.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a happening spot.
Oh, yes.
And then she retreats to her aunt's house, who is her rock, her person. She's got a little bit of family drama. She's not super close to her family.
Yeah.
It's alluded to give her a backstory, but it's not really talked about much.
You know what's interesting is the family set up, like she's one of the fourth, and it's three brothers, and they were all like jocks and popular, and the mom was like a high school cheerleader, and so she kind of like sets up the family like this like 80s tropes almost of like the nerds and the jocks and the popular kids and the nerdy kids, and she was the nerdy kid and she didn't fit in, and now she like they talk about her family and she's like they kind of peaked in high school. It's like, ouch.
She does say that
about her mom. I was like, brutal. But it is it kind of, this whole book, reading it is just, it's very fun to read. It's very relaxing, but it definitely feels this like triumph for anyone who ever felt like the nerd in the 80s movie, kind of like this is them like, actually everyone's been noticing you. You are a babe, and the super hunky bad boy next door has been in love with you for 10 years since you moved to town. 10 years he's been wanting you. So it's kind of this, and like she gets her own, she gets her voice, she finds her sexual power, she builds out the bookstore, and
when her husband comes and humiliates her with this tirade in the middle of the street,
the community rallies.
All the community comes to her and says, "Oh, it's his fault. He's a loser. Everybody make sure you don't let him shop in your store anymore." Like, clearly he's in the wrong.
Yeah.
And she's so worried that he's humiliating her, but really he's just embarrassing himself, and she is like the righteous townsperson that they all rally around.
Yeah, this is like gentle, emotional revenge porn.
Yeah. That sounds great.
It does sound great. Yeah, like I kept writing that in my notes. I'm like, emotional porn, emotional porn, emotional porn. Okay, this is a perfect example. So Ian is obsessed with her being happy after this month. So he's already been drawn to her, but he knows he can't have her, but he's drawn to her. And then he gets to have her, and he is training her to have orgasms at his command. So they do a lot of like phone and video orgasm. I'm like, you guys are right next door to each other. But I think also it's probably like kind of adhering or accommodating the no cheating thing.
Probably. Maybe that's why it was written that way.
And also she's written as this kind of pretty like shy, tentative person who's slow to trust. So this is like him like pulling out the skittish, small...
wounded bird.
Come, you're safe. So they slowly develop this relationship. But almost within the first week, he's like, I love her. And I was like, you do? Wait. And so he's just in love with her. She's the strongest woman. She's so incredible. All this stuff. And something happens. Anytime she gets hurt, he loses his gourd. He just is, I can't handle it. I can handle anything, but as long as Nicole's happy. And so then, like, she says something to him, and he goes, it takes a few seconds for her and my words to register. Then I shrug because, of course I love you. I fucking love you, Nick. And I need to do something to help. The smile that shines... Okay, this is so good.
Pull yourself together.
The smile that shines through her tears knits the lacerations of my heart back together and kisses the bruises on my soul better. I mean...
That is very poetic.
Top notch.
The author, Sophie Andrews, says in her bio she likes 90s rom-coms. She's Team Pacey from Dawson's Creek. I think this is a call out to teenage girls writing in their diary, imagining what a man would say.
Yeah, the smile through her tears knits the lacerations in my heart back together and kisses my soul better.
Wow.
That is amazing. So
that's what you're getting with Ian.
Yeah.
And it's just...
They get together.
So, yeah, they do. It's such a light, fluffy, like, oh, how sweet.
The one, like, really wild scene was the blowjob scene. I was like, oh, it, like, shifted gears really quick because she came to him because she needed something, and he's like, get up here, and brings her up to, like, throws down a pillow.
Well, he saw her wedding ring. She was still wearing it, and he's so possessive. He was like, I hate even thinking about that. And so then he just starts, like...
face fucking her.
Yeah, like, aggressively.
Yeah, and that's when she realized she loves him.
Yeah, well, naturally.
But it was
just... that was a bit of a record scratch.
But the dynamics of it were, like, such a, like, high gear sexy versus the tone of the rest of the book was really kind of, like, buttercream frosting. Mm-hmm. And this was, like, spicy mocha chocolate shot. And you're like, oh. So it's in there, but it is all very... nothing's going to make you sad about cheating.
No.
I don't think. Maybe it would.
Well, because it's not cheating. They establish ahead of time.
It's 100%. It's not cheating.
These are the rules of their marriage.
And she makes a call out to Ross and friends, and we were on a break, but I'm going to say it's not. It's like 100% past that. That was very murky. This was like...
This is not murky.
We have a month. Go have sex with whoever you want.
And don't
call me when you're done.
Don't tell me about it.
Or don't call me when you're done.
Yeah. We'll figure it out when we get back, and then... She says she wants a divorce.
Yeah.
Something that made me chuckle. So she ends up leaving her husband, and she leaves the house. And Ian says, "Okay, like, are you gonna move in with me?" She says, "No, I'm not gonna move in with you. I want to be on my own. I'm gonna go to my aunt's house for a week and get my head on straight,
find myself,
and then find a place to live." And he's all, distraught. "Oh, I want you near me. I can't have you apart."
Yeah.
And then the next scene, she's moved in with him because she lived on her own for 2 or 3 months. And now she's moved in with him. I'm like, girl, that's not the independent woman that you were just describing. That is not, you can't even sign a lease for that short.
But she tried.
She tried, and she got what she needed out of it, and then they very happily moved in together.
Yeah, and so this is kind of like the Kelly Clarkson Stronger song. This is her, she's telling Ian wants to go fight Bryce. Oh, the breakup scene is so great when she goes and she tells him she wants the divorce. And, because she's been away at her aunt's or something. Mm-hmm. This is the closure talk. And she goes in, and there's, like, empty takeout, dirty dishes, garbage, and it's such the, like, kind of, like, vindication moment for a reader who's ever been like, I'm not appreciated. You know what I mean? Because you're like, look at you, how much you took me for granted.
Yeah, you can't even take out the garbage.
And she's like, and I'm not going to pick it up. I'm out. I was like, oh, how... validating and very satisfying. But so she has this whole thing, and of course Ian wants to beat up Bryce, and she's like, you need to let me be strong on my own. And he's like physically restraining himself, but he's like, I have to let her grow on her own. And then this is so great. So she says to herself, what if, do I regret this? And she's like, being with Bryce was the reason I decided to move away from home. Marrying him taught me about myself. Breaking up with him taught me even more. Going through this terrible time led me to the person I know is right for me. I can't take it back. I can't take it back any of my choices, even the ones that hurt. But she's like, I bite my lip finding words, and I hope. So she's just like having this whole thing where you're like, oh yeah, triumph.
She is blossoming.
We don't have to live through her shitty marriage. We just get this, like, amazing moment where the hot tattoo artist.
Yeah, a good thing in this book, there is talk of bad stuff. Of she went through some drama when she was in college that has got her scarred. He had a whole weird backstory with his ex-wife. We know that Bryce, her husband, soon-to-be ex-husband, is not great. But we don't have to read about all that crap. We just get the good stuff.
Yeah.
They mention it, Sophie Andrews mentions it, so we have some context for why the
there's
characters
like a paragraph.
are making decisions that they're making, but it is not, you're not spending time in those uncomfortable feelings like, ooh, why did they do that to her?
Trauma trench.
No, we don't want that. This is like a beach read type situation.
Yeah, yeah. So it's very relaxing. They get together. They don't have kids, which is interesting.
She is anti-kid. There's a word for that. Child-free.
Child-free. Is that
I think that's the term for I don't want to have kids. It's not that I just haven't had any yet, but I'm choosing not to.
Yeah, so she very intentionally didn't want kids, and then that's Bryce, her ex-husband, says is this whole excuse. Well, the reason I said this is because actually I really want to have a kid. And she's like, wow, you are such a dumb.
We already agreed we're not going to. I already had my tubes tied, and you know that.
Way to really have a clear communication.
Yeah, your response to that.
Fuck strangers.
That should do the trick.
This is your fault. You didn't know what I was thinking.
There is an epilogue. Who doesn't love an epilogue? What I found very odd is Nicole is not in the epilogue at all. It's just about Ian and his siblings, and this is a book in a series. Each of his siblings, and I think probably his kids. I don't know if all the books have been written yet.
It feels like a lead up with the kids, like the daughter's boyfriend.
Yes, they all have partners that clearly have either they've just met them or they're about to, and that's what the epilogue is. It's just him and his 3 siblings. It's mostly through a series of text threads, and I wasn't crazy about that. I understand texting is part of modern life and therefore it belongs in books, but that's not the last taste of a book that I want. I don't like that as an epilogue. I prefer prose. But it was a little bit of a juicy cliffhanger about his youngest brother.
Yeah, and Sophie Andrews really throughout the books builds these side character storylines. So it doesn't I don't think detract, but it did make sense at the end where I'm like, of course they're going to have a continuation of Roman, Ian's brother, who's been missing in action, has suffered with addiction, all these things, and then he kind of comes back.
He shows up, surprise, I've got a daughter.
And I bought the house.
And I bought a house. Yeah.
So, So. I'm going to guess he's going to be a simp. It might be genetic.
Maybe he's a cinnamon roll.
Maybe he's both.
Yeah. Okay, well, next week we will be reviewing Paper Heart.
Oh, yes. It's a reverse harem.
By Alice McGinty.
And it's supposed to be funny. It is definitely going to be spicy.
It's kind of an outrageous, over-the-top humor. So if you like rom-com that makes you laugh out loud, but that is not exactly rooted in reality, this is maybe for you.
Thanks for joining us.
Okay, goodbye.
Bye. Happily ever after.